Welcome to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, White March 1 and 2. I'm your host, Colors Fade. This video is for a friend of mine on Steam, but anybody might get some use out of this, especially if you're a new player. I have a friend on the Steam forums messaging me. He's having a real hard time playing the game on normal difficulty, and I know from checking the Steam forum from time to time that we have new players to this game who struggle on the easier difficulty levels. So I'll put this together to show you how I play the game and the different decisions I'm making during combat. We'll start with what I have set up. I have it on hard difficulty, um, and all of the different things that are turned on except for knockout injuries. But one of the first places to really start to get a handle on Pillars of Eternity is to turn on some of the more key auto-pause features. I turn it on when hidden object found, party member finishes ability. This is really important because I turn the AI for my companions off. You can see down here, I have it turned off for all of them. I'm going to micromanage them. It's the most efficient way to play this game. It doesn't play like other RPGs. You really need to pause combat and you need to micromanage all your players. So if we go back to autopause, when a party member finishes an ability, you don't want them standing around doing nothing, so it autopauses and then you can give them a new command. At the start of combat, it always autopauses so I can kind of see what's going on. And when the target's destroyed, I don't worry about spell cast because I look and pay attention when my characters are done with it. So we are in the, if you look, let's see, the various hotkeys don't work with my NVIDIA overlay, but we're in the Foundry in the White March. This is in the White March on the world map in Durgan's Battery, and there's some bad guys in this room. So we're going to go in there and I'm going to show you how I do combat. I'm not going to sneak in there or anything. I'm just going to bludgeon my way in there. Alright, so combat pauses automatically because they're enemies, and I'm going to look at my enemies and see what I have here. I have a Wraith that's a spirit. It can be crowd controlled. Notice it up here in the corner, up in the left corner when I hover over it. It's immune to disease, ground, hobbled, poison prone, sick, and stuck. But it does not suffer from any immunities to crowd control. So you can use things like confusion on it, you can charm it, and those sorts of things. Same thing with everything in here. These are all spirits. Notice also their immunities for damage reduction. It thinks their base damage reduction is 10 on this one. It's a base damage reduction of 12 on this, the Bitter Spirit, the Bitter Siren. So look at the Wraith. It has a high mental, though, so that's going to make crowd control hard. It's got a potentially 81. It has a damage reduction of 10, but notice the damage reduction is lower for fire. It's probably a 5. It's more resistant to the cold at 20. These guys over here, the Bitter Spirits, they're easier to charm and do crowd control on. Their mental capacity is at a 54, and it doesn't appear that they have any damage reduction. This guy has a high mental capacity. We're probably not going to do any crowd control on him, but he is vulnerable to corrosion. Slash or crush is at 18, so that means Adair is not going to hit him as easily. In fact, nobody is. And over here we have a Spectre, again, high mental capacity, 10 damage reduction, more vulnerable to fire. So I'm going to get everybody in this room, and then I'm going to pause again, and we're going to kind of set up. Oh, and the game is auto-paused, and how do I unpause it since I can't use keyboard commands? So here we go. I don't like that my keyboard is not working with the overlay. This is kind of strange, Pillars of Eternity. So here we go. Adair is right here. I'm going to want him to kind of lock up on this Wraith. So he's immediately going to go. I'm using this Defender. It's a modal. I keep it pretty much on all the time. This increases the number of things that he can engage. These characters can't go to ground, so kicking them is no good. So I'm just going to have him attack. Here it is, my Npc Priest. Now if you're new to the game, you're probably running around with the default NPC Priest, and he's a fun guy, but his stats aren't set up very well. So here is my Priest. We'll take a look at her. Gwen, she's a 10th level. All my characters are 10th level right now. I hired her from an inn. And these are the way I have her stats set up. For Priest, the most important thing is dexterity. You want them to be able to cast spells as fast as possible. You want int, it gives her a greater area effect, but the most important thing is more duration. You want her spells to last longer. She is a buffer and a debuffer. Might, she's gonna, I've given her 14 because it improves her healing. She's not mostly a healer. I don't use priests for healers. I use them for buffing and debuffing, and if you do that, you usually don't need to do a lot of healing. Aloth is your standard wizard. This is my main, my favorite character, a melee cipher. High dex, because I want him to act fast. High int, I want his effects to last longer. High might, because he does a lot of damage, and damage is how ciphers build focus. I have Pelagina, standard paladin. She's set up to be a little bit defensive. She's a really good defense, and Adair, my main kind of grab a lot of enemies guy. But going back to my Priest, one of the things is she is, let's see, inventory. I'm not used to using the buttons. I'm used to using the hotkeys. She wears a robe because this is actually, I have light armor on her now because it's actually better with but usually I have a robe on these. You want as least amount of recovery penalty as possible. She's supposed to act fast. So first things first for her, she always casts first. She has interdiction. Interdiction and painful interdiction. This is going to weaken your opponents and daze them. Weaken is going to reduce their might and constitution, and their fortitude and will are reduced by 20. Now this is really important for my cipher and my wizard because I want them to do crowd control. So this is why we love interdiction. So this is the first thing. It's got a big area, and we're going to slam it in here, and we're going to say interdict everybody. Aloth can't knock anybody down with slicking or anything like that, but what he can do is he can confuse the heck out of people. I don't think that this particular group of monsters is going to require me to fire off a whole bunch of spells, so I've taken Spirit Shield as one of his masters. He gets 1 per encounter. I'm going to set him up a little bit defensively here at the start of the fight. Here is my Cipher, my favorite class. Gets a great spell to start off most of my encounters with. Psycho Vampiric Shield. Has an accuracy of 78, and it steals a portion of the resolve to better deflect incoming attacks. His deflection is 56. It's 27 level and a 9 ring of deflection, but it's going to be closer to 100 by the time we get a couple of buffs on him, and the first one is Psycho Vampiric Shield. So we're going to steal that. We're going to look for somebody that doesn't have a lot of willpower like this guy right here. We're going to rip it off of him so it has a better chance of sticking. This is my second row paladin, Drake. I hired him from an inn. He's my offensive paladin. He has Zealous Focus, damage reduction. He is going to cast this spell right here. Sworn Enemy marks an enemy, granting accuracy and damage bonuses against the target. We're going to put it on this first Wraith. The Wraiths can cause trouble, so we want to kill them. Pelagina also has it, and she has a special ability with hers. If we look at her character, this is one of the traits that I really enjoyed. Taking with her is, let's see, where is it? Sworn Enemy, Faith and Conviction, Flames of Devotion. Oh yeah, the Wrath of 5 Suns. This is great. So it works with her. Sworn Enemy, modifies Sworn Enemy. Foe target does a bunch of burn damage and has 10 damage reduction bypass. Self plus 20 damage and plus 15 accuracy against marked targets. This is brilliant, and it's a quick way to kill a lot of things really fast. So she's gonna launch it at this specter and then attack. So everybody's got their actions done, and I'm going to unpause and let the game roll, and I have to do it from the center here, so this is a little awkward. Alright. Adair, I sent him to attack somebody, and then he didn't, so I'm going to turn Bitter Spirit because the other one moved. She cast her spell and she's done. Now her second one. This is another one of her things that it's special abilities, so you can fire these off every encounter. Interdiction and Holy Radiance. This is great against spirits and things like that. It burns any vessels in the vicinity and regenerates a modest amount of energy for allies. This is usually the second thing I fire off in a battle, especially against these guys. Especially against vessels. It doesn't work against spirits. I should clarify that. But against vessels. So it's great against vessels. But this is going to give everybody a little bit of endurance and some burn damage. Only vessels. Well, we don't have vessels. These are all spirits, so we're not going to use that. In fact, I'm not going to fire that off first. What I'm going to do is this. Dire Blessing. 20% of hits converted to crits for 45 seconds. This helps everybody crit, not just melee, but everybody else's spells as well. This is one of the first things I like to fire off while everybody's clustered together because it is a small area of effect spell. Aloth got his defense off, and I'm probably just going to have him. He has this two-handed scepter. I'm probably just going to have him fire this. We'll see if we start to get in trouble with all these guys. If we need to cast some more impressive spells, we may have him crowd control some of these guys over here. We may have him confuse them. So we'll proceed. Alright, it paused because my paladin finished his ability. So now he has a bitter spirit coming in to flank Gwen, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go over here and do that, and he's going to take Flames of Devotion against that guy, and we're going to proceed. My Cypher just siphoned off. So go back and look. Now his deflection is 81, and we don't even have a priest spell on him yet, so he's awesome. I have him as a two-handed weapon justice. He has a pike for when he's in the back row. So he's just going to attack this guy and try to kill it off because Pelagina almost killed it off. And she is currently a little stunned. She got teleported over here and stunned. That's okay. She'll live. Let's see. Aloth just completed his ability and nothing else has happened. He's got this guy here. I'm just going to try to kill this guy, and then Aloth is going to run some crowd control. Drake finished his ability, and now he's just going to keep attacking this Fitter Spirit. He's got it down to badly injured, which is great. And Kane just destroyed, my Cypher just destroyed this guy with one hit, so he's awesome. So he just built a bunch of focus, and he's at 51 now, and I can decide what the heck I want to do. That Spectre is near death. That one is untouched, and that Siren is untouched. So he has a really great spell. My Cypher does. This one, I love it. Antipathetic Field. Antipathetic Field. I don't know how you pronounce that. Antipathetic sounds fine to me, but it launches from a long ways away. It creates a huge beam, and anybody that comes in between it takes crush damage, I believe. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, corrosive damage. It's awesome. It's an awesome spell. So we'll do that. Gwen just finished casting, and she can now run another buff on people. We have Blessing that I can cast one per encounter because I made it a master, but we also have a Paladin who has Zealous Focus, and my understanding is they don't stack. So we're going to have her do something else like Circle of Protection. This will add plus 15 to all defenses. This is kind of a bread and butter spell for everybody. Early in the game, you want your priest using that, so we'll add a little bit of defense to everybody. Drake killed somebody, so now I can have him go up on this bitter spirit that's almost dead, and he'll turn and he'll focus on that. And now we'll run a little bit here. So let's see what happened. Oh, Aloth finished his ability. Activated Arcane Assault. So now I'm thinking, what do I want to have him do over here? I can have him crowd control some of these guys. It might be good. You see this guy, his defense, his metal defense went down to 30. This one's went down to 57. That guy's went down to 30. I might have him do a little bit of crowd control here. Oh, the other thing is, I have, this is not my good, this is not my good book for Aloth. This is my not so good book. So, what do I have? I have Call to Slumber, which will knock some of them unconscious. I have Confusion. I'm going to confuse all these guys over here, or try to. And then we'll see what happens. Let's see. Drake destroyed somebody, and Drake has a really awesome ability that I love. Um, let's see. I'll look through these things. Strange Mercy, which he gets because he's a certain kind of paladin. When the paladin defeats an opponent nearby and allies gain endurance, they gain 96 endurance, which is really nice. And that is because he is a kind wayfarer. So he's got a good one. You're going to see people kind of roughly heal here. He's got one more Flames of Devotion left, and I probably should use it on this Wraith, so I'm going to do that. Pelagine is still over in the corner, just kind of being stunned and taking damage, and we can look and we can see that she's stuck, and that's suppressed because she's frightened and dazed for another 6.5 seconds, but because she's got just awesome defense, if we look at her, well, it's down now to 64, so we're going to have to get over there and help her. So that's where we're at. Let's see what's going on here. I auto-paused because Gwen finished casting her spell. So I could move her around here and try to save Pelagina, or I can do some more stuff with these guys. And this is kind of where I want her. I just want her to move a little bit, and then we're going to do some stuff. Here is Adair, trying to do that. Okay, she moved. And so what I'm going to do is this spell. This is the main healing spell for Priest, Consecrated Ground. Creates a long-lasting circle of healing, regenerating ally endurance, 11 endurance every 1.5 seconds. It's not great, but if you just do it, you can see that the area of effect is it's going to grab all my allies that are standing close to her. And these guys are all going to get healed. So here goes my Cypher. He created the long line in between now, and now I'm going to have him try to kill this Spectre. I have some great spells here for doing different things. I can paralyze, so I'm going to do that because I like to crowd control a lot. He's going to paralyze this one. It's dazed for 3 seconds, which is great, so he should be able to paralyze it and then just hack it off, even though it's standing right next to Aloth. And there's a Bitter Spirit over there that Aloth needs to kill. So we'll let it run. So there's that happened. It says Aloth finished his ability again. I got a Bitter Spirit standing next to him that's weakened for 11 seconds and dazed for 1.4. So I'm just going to see if I can... I might use a low-level spell here and just try to kind of kill it off. Pelagina is over in the corner and she's not dazed anymore, which is great. So she is going to... Let's see, I have a Wraith and a Wraith, and neither one of them are any more hurt than the other, but this one is dazed. So it's dazed for 1.8 seconds, and it's sworn enemy, so she has bonus against it. And then there's this guy, so she's going to aim for him. Here is Adair. He needs to focus on this guy over here, and we'll let everything run for a second. This guy got confused, so this Wraith, confused for 9 seconds, ran off, and he's a green circle for us, so we don't need to worry about him. This means that Drake, who was targeting that guy, doesn't need to waste his time targeting him. So he's going to turn around and target the hostile guy. So Aloth's spell stuck on a couple guys. Or at least one. And what happened? She finished her spell. So now she casts Consecrated Ground. So I have just a plethora of choices here on different... This is the thing, you can pretty much just chain cast with her and a bunch of good things are happening. I'm going to do Holy Radiance now so that everybody close to me gets a little bit of healing. The burn effect won't happen because these guys aren't vessels, but that's okay. It'll give Aloth a little healing too, so just doing a little extra healing here. Kane finished. Paralyzing this guy is paralyzed for 4.5 seconds, so it grazed him. You can see down here in the window, it grazed him for 11 of crow damage. Oh, that's down here. It's grazing this guy. Let's see. Mental Binding grazes the Spectre, so it's only going to last for 5.4 seconds. So that's a bummer, but that's okay. Hopefully he can finish that thing off. And what happened? Pelagina finished her ability, and she's just going to keep attacking. So there's that. Alright, Aloth finished his spell, and now he's going to use Second Wind, because there's... looks like he killed that Spectre on the other side, which is great. And also his defense got triggered, and so he has kind of like a mirror image thing going on. And I believe that is because Aloth, if I look in his inventory, I think it's his robe that does it. Yeah, mirror images Defiance. So here's this neat little arraignment of whale's eyes. Good recovery speed, it's only minus 15%. Cast mirror image when hit by a critical hit. Plus 25 defense against charm, confused attacks, and plus 10 defense against dominate attacks. That's, really nice piece of hardware there for him. Meanwhile, my Cypher just continues to drill these guys with this line here. So this is awesome. I love my Cypher, he's the best. And I may actually move him around there so that the field comes over here and crunches these guys a little bit more. Well, there we go. Oh, pause. I'll finish this guy off. Aloth. Let's see, what can he do? I don't have my good Aloth spells up, so that's kind of a bummer. I've got the wrong spell book going on here. I have various different things I can do. There's this bitter spirit right there that's caught in between us, so I'm going to try to paralyze it with this spell that I always try to keep up. Fetid Caress. Target becomes paralyzed. It's a great spell. And these guys are vulnerable to paralysis. Gwen finished yet another spell. I can try to do all kinds of different... there's just so many good priest spells, and I don't really have a method to my madness all the time with this, but like this is a low level one, plus 4 damage reduction for 45 seconds. It's a great one to cast to get things out of the way. I don't want to use up all her spells on this encounter. I only have one campfire left before we get to the main battery area, but I do want to kind of keep things going here, so I'm going to burn one of these on this group and give everybody a little bit of damage reduction. Alright, so my Cypher got hit with, he got paralyzed. Pelagina's over here beating on this thing, she's got it injured. I'm going to want to use Second Wind on her at some point in time. My Priest, you can see how fast she casts spells, she just got that one done too. So what do I want to do? I have a bunch of really good spells. Grants Divine Favor to an ally. No. This is Devotions of the Faithful. This is my favorite one. Invoking the Benediction. Alright. It adds plus 4 might and plus 20 melee accuracy to all my allies and plus 20 range actually. And it reduces might and minus 20 melee accuracy and minus 20 ranged accuracy for all enemies. This is like the best priest spell in the world. So on this group of people here, I'm going to do it. Pelagina's still over by herself. I may end up coming over here and doing some kind of crowd control with her as soon as my Cypher comes back. Oh, and Aloth got whacked too, so something over here. And I could go through this and figure out what's doing it. But oh yeah, Spectre grazes Aloth for freeze damage. It's, bitter spirit, but there's the Spectre. So you kind of got to kill those guys as fast as you can. Alright. Proceed. There we go. Alright, Gwen. Let's see. I'm just going to see if she can turn around and kill this thing. Otherwise, I'm going to have her... Let's see. I don't want to leave this area, but she doesn't have Consecrated Ground up anymore. So, I could leave this area and have her come over here and buff the heck out of Pelagina. I might do that. This is something I usually don't do with my priests, is run them around, but I'm gonna in this case. This guy, my Cypher, he still needs to kill this dude off. And what I might do is... That one's paralyzed for 13 seconds. And this one can be crowd controlled, even though it's going to be hard to hit. Its mental resistance is 78. But it would be really nice to let it do that. I'm going to try it. See what happens. Alright. My priest is moved. And what I want to do is... This one. Grants a divine favor. Plus 10 might, plus 10 perception, plus 5 damage reduction. I'm going to give Pelagina that one. And Pelagina is going to use her second wind for a second. Alright, so my Cypher managed to mez this guy. He charmed him for 5.4 seconds, which is good because I want to go kill this dude while he's still paralyzed. And Aloth is trying to kill that dude while he's still paralyzed. Oh, and he's dead because Kane rocks. So Drake is over here, but my Cypher's just the baddest ass in the galaxy. He's gonna go kill this guy next. Gwen managed to come over here and buff Pelagina. We can get a good look at what Pelagina's stats look like now. So defense is a little better, fortitude's a lot better. She's still, let's see, she's got minus 20 from being stuck on her deflection. So, and that's because she wasn't over here to enjoy all the deflection bonuses. But I'm gonna have Gwen just shoot at her with her wand and see if these guys can't make this happen. Same thing with Aloth, just start wanding these guys. I don't like to, this isn't a fight where I need to burn a ton of spells. I probably already burned more than I need to. So let's see, Pelagina finishes her ability. She needs to just keep attacking this thing. Oh, and here we go. So my Cypher had this guy charmed for a second, for 5 seconds, and now these two guys here. What do I want to, I got so many good spells here. Silent Scream, this one's awesome. Raw damage to all enemies within. I'm going to kill this guy off and maybe do some damage to these guys there. Yeah, so there he goes. Kane destroying things right and left because he's just an absolute badass. Alright, go kill this guy. Aloth, help these guys out. This fight's getting close to the end here. Alright, oh, that one jumped all the way over to Pelagina. It like teleported, and it stunned my priestess. So, Aloth, oh, dang it. I got a menu item in the way here. I just want Aloth to aim at him. Drake is my big macho paladin. Come over here and kill that person. Adair, come over here and kill this one. Pelagina got stunned and Aloth is doing nothing. So, Aloth, dude, just move a little bit and then just fire away at that guy. Alright, what else do we have here? My Cypher can do some more stuff. This is one of those things, if I was over in that group, I'd be casting Eye Strike on it. Mind Wave does raw damage. And he's just got so many good spells. He's got 47 right now. I'm going to save this and try to do something with it. I'm not even using my spells to potential here. Alright, Drake killed this guy over here. My paladin, my offensive paladin. Everybody over there is going to get healed a little bit. Yeah, I love that. That is just like the best. Drake, focus in on this guy now. He's built up a whole bunch of that, so I think I might do Silent Scream again. I can also do Borrowed Instinct is great. Detonate. Let's see. Let's just try to detonate that guy. I'm here. Let's see if it works. Oh, Gwen, the priest, destroyed that target over there. So everybody can just, I'm gonna draw a circle around and say everybody finish that guy off. That's not very helpful. Oh, detonate didn't quite land. Alright. Darn you. Interesting. He's gonna heal for his one time. And then all those guys killed it. So we're down to the last one. It's near death. Detonate almost got it. Now everybody's just gonna run over here and finish it off. So there we go. It's just... So, I hope what you get out of this video is Autopause is awesome and you should use it. And you gotta pay attention to your enemies and don't waste spells on enemies that have the wrong kind of resist, and don't do like I did and think that spirits are the same thing as vessels, because they're not. But anyways, this is first video. I will potentially make a couple more of these, especially during the more difficult fights. This is the hard difficulty level, and it's not that hard. Path of the Damned is where the real men and women play. At any rate, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I'm open to any and all criticism. I'm not the best Pillars of Eternity player at all, but I can beat the game easily enough on the hard difficulties. So, and this is, I did all this fight here without using any kind of like food or consumables or any of that stuff. So this was not a hard fight, and I certainly burned more spells on this than I needed to. But I wanted to show off kind of the priest and how I would use her on a more difficult fight. Um, if you liked the video, give it a like, and thanks for watching.
The better part of valor.
Oh. GeForce Experience works weird with pillars.